All right, here at the Facebook Developers Conference F8, I'm going to share some of my takes. We had the keynote from Mark Zuckerberg yesterday, and we had a keynote today, and we had a huge emphasis on one word, which is privacy, and that's an interesting topic for sure. Let me show you guys around. I want to show here. So you have the actual platform of Facebook on this side. So there's some Facebook information there, and some developer stuff. Right behind this purple thing is Instagram, and then on the corner over there is Messenger, and then there's WhatsApp, and then the virtual reality guys, the augmented reality and Oculus, and then some of the portal stuff, which is like Messenger on steroids, video conferencing on steroids. So, what is going on with Facebook and what's going to be happening? Well, it's very interesting to see the emphasis on self-policing, right? Let's legislate ourselves. Let's figure out what we need to do so we don't get in trouble with anybody. And then the development of artificial intelligence to police a lot of these things. Well, this is tricky, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again. This is not even an engineering problem. I mean, it is also an engineering problem. It's not even a physics problem, which is also a physics problem, or let alone a mathematical problem, which also is a mathematical problem. But it's a problem of ethics. It's a problem of, so when Facebook says that they will regulate what's harmful or hateful speech, or make sure that they're safe, it's a safe environment. Well, that sounds good, but the problem is, well, the devil's in the details, right? What do you mean by safe? What do you mean by harmful? What do you mean by hate? And it's and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that there's not bad things happening or things that people say are probably not helpful. But what I'm saying is that it is, I mean, who is a corporation to draw the lines on what is hateful and what is harmful and what is important? And then not only that, but to take it a step further, to codify those judgments, because they're judgments and they're moral judgments, to codify them in AI, right? And to codify them in an algorithm that's going to remove those things automatically. So this is very scary. If you make the comparison, let's pretend that there is a corporation that's responsible for all the space around the city. Anything anybody puts in anybody's wall, the city would be responsible. Let's suppose that that's the case. So if that's the case, then they are, in essence, not only the police of the whole city, but also they're the legislation of the whole city. And this becomes very problematic, because the way that democratic societies have solved this is by trying to have a collective consensus on what is right and what is wrong. And this is difficult because, again, these are, so if a corporation takes it upon itself, and I understand why they're doing it. I mean, Facebook probably doesn't want to be regulated, and it's also not clear that regulators would do a better job either, right? In deciding what is good and what is bad, because again, this is beyond politics. This is beyond a philosophical statement of what is right or what is wrong. This is, again, an ethical statement of what is right and what is wrong, codified in computer language, in an algorithm. So there are very tricky times, and I understand why Facebook is doing. I think the way that Mark was approaching it before was probably the right thing. He was saying, look, we are just a platform, and people do all kinds of things in the platform. So he was trying to stay neutral, but how can you stay neutral if you're also monetizing all the wall space? So there's no easy answers here, and there are big perils, and in all kinds of ways for all of us involved. So the questions are as follows. Who should determine what we see, let's say in a newsfeed or in design? Because none of these things are neutral, right? They're all decisions based on values. And the question is, well, what are the values and where do we extract them from? And so because of this revolution of technology, because of this revolution of communications, we are having to reverse engineer all of our systems from the philosophical, the ethical, all the way up to the logistical of what should people do, and how should they promote their businesses, how should they promote themselves, how should they communicate themselves. And I heard a couple of words that again, where we're signaling some kind of political stance. And so, and this is going to have a reaction. This is going to have a reaction from the political realm, an anti-tech political reaction. So anyways, a very interesting state of affairs. We will see what happens with that. I think what all these platforms are going to try to continue to do is to try to say, look how good we are, and look all the things that we're doing to make sure that we're on the good side of the law, which is, it's easy when you think about really stark examples, right? That there are things that clearly people shouldn't share, but even then, you run into very tricky things, into things that are probably not a good idea to have people become marginalized, and to have people that have probably bad ideas and bad agendas, and there are always going to be bad people, right? And it's probably be a nice thing if we could believe in this world where we're all trying to do good here. And the question is, well, yeah, we're all trying to do good. The difference is that we all determine what the good is for us. And then when that is in conflict, then it becomes tricky. And so now that we have these platforms that can potentially communicate with all these people, we will see. I leave with this thought, okay? Whenever a company, a big corporation, like in this case Facebook, connects so many people and has such incredible power, they're either a part of the system, right? They're part of some kind of regulated system, or they are completely neutral and hands off, and whatever happens, and it's like suing the phone companies for conversations that the mafia has over the phone, right? And so that's nonsense, right? Because wow, it's not the phone company's fault, right? In essence, it's not, because, well, they're not monetizing the air. So between conversations, there's not some kind of advertising. Well, but Facebook is monetizing engagement. So are they liable? Well, it seems like we've come to a conclusion that they are liable. And so now they're taking a step back and saying, okay, here are all the things that we're doing to fight against that. So my thought is, how will a committee, a group of people, a group of developers, a group of even CEOs in corporations going to determine what is the good in the content, in the language, in the way that people interact? We don't know. We don't know what that's going to be like. But it's going to be interesting to see. So, from San Jose, California, I'll leave you guys with that. And I wanted to show you all around what it was all here. And so here's the conference. Very cool stuff. But very crazy times at the same time. Who knows what will happen? All right.